Hello and welcome to another episode of Mercurial Gems. I'm Fee.
I'm Jen.
And today we're going to talk about the axis of Virgo and Pisces.
Yeah, so Virgo and Pisces are sister signs, and we thought this was appropriate if you're listening in real time because eclipse season is coming and it's going to be hitting the Virgo and Pisces axis. And so breaking down sister signs is like one of the most fun ways to learn astrology if you are new in your journey and you kind of know the zodiac signs. One of the ways you can really start to like feel into the energy is understanding that there's actually like 6 energies of the 12 zodiac broken into sister signs. And when you look at the sister signs, there's a lot of wisdom you can gain. So if you're struggling with one area of your chart, when you look to the opposite sign and what's going on in that house, if you have planets in the opposite, it helps to balance out whatever's going on in maybe like a shadow area in your chart. And when the sky is highlighting an actual axis, like a sister sign, Virgo to Pisces, then there's always going to be a lot of wisdom like pulled up about the signs in opposition. And that's essentially what a full moon always is. Yeah. And full moons, we know, can be very catalyzing. That's when the sun and moon are opposite to each other, so they're always going to be in sister signs. And that helps to kind of like reveal like a layer of something you need to surrender, something you need to let go, because it pulls up the shadows that can exist within those two energies, kind of being split, but still holding like a central wisdom that each of the signs can learn from. Yeah. And we have a lot of Virgo Pisces tea for you as two people that discuss, I think, this axis probably more than anything.
We have a lot of Virgo both individually and together, so it's really important for us. But before we get into that, for those who are new to astrology, to follow along with just learning the sister signs are Aries and Libra, Taurus and Scorpio, Gemini and Sagittarius, Cancer and Capricorn, Leo and Aquarius, and then Virgo and Pisces.
And so with those sister signs, you'll also come to learn that it's always going to be a fire with an air sign. So those are considered sort of the yang energies, the masculine energies. And this just means that there's more of a initial action sort of energy, and it's a little bit more responsive compared to the more yin, which is always going to be earth with a water, and that holds kind of a more like fluid and femininity, not in the gender archetype, but in just this sort of ebb and flow and cyclical nature. And so it's really cool to learn it that way too, because as you start to even piece together aspects in astrology, it just really helps to know the sister signs and really understand them. But delving in specifically to our Virgo and Pisces, I'm a Virgo rising, so Pisces is on my descendant line. It's my 7th house. And I definitely play with this a lot. And for your own research, if this is all very new to you, pull up your astrology and see where you actually have Virgo and Pisces and what houses those two kind of connect. Because when you connect with the themes of that house, you're also going to kind of understand how the Virgo Pisces energy affects you more personally.
Even if you don't have planets in that house, it still affects you in that way. I like to see like a house with planets in it as like this energy might be louder in your life, but that doesn't mean, like, for example, Jen doesn't have planets in Pisces. That doesn't mean she doesn't have Pisces energy. It's just not as loud as the Virgo, which she has in her chart.
Yeah, you really come to learn in astrology that if there is a sign you don't get along with, find out what house that's in. It doesn't matter if you don't have planets there. You are going to understand that energy from whatever area of life that ends up impacting you. And Virgo and Pisces for myself, because Virgo is my sense of self and it's like my initial instinct that comes with that rising sign. It's how a lot of people perceive me. I have come to learn a lot about themes of Virgo, which is the classic control and perfectionist wounds that come in. And I also think Virgo really gets perceived for being really critical and nitpicky and detail oriented. But what it feels like is not always those things. I think for Virgo, it just feels like there's just so much information constantly coming in that being able to find a routine, structure, rituals helps to kind of navigate what is the opposite, like Pisces vastness of feelings. And I think for Virgo, it's like less about controlling and more that there's just so much coming in that any shaping of something kind of going into automatic versus conscious, like paying attention feels so good to Virgo when Virgo can lock in a habit where they don't have to feel into every bit of it. It's an incredible feeling to have a habit loop that doesn't take your energy.
1,000%. With them being sister signs, like Pisces is so like on the higher side of the scale, like dreamy and like whimsical, and on the lower side can be a little delusional. And I think for Virgo, because they are similar but different, I think being able to lock in a habit is this false sense of security that Virgo gives ourselves that proves to us we're not Pisces. Like, no, but this is what I'm doing to get there. Is it the most productive?
Really important for those who have like major like Virgo energy. Knowing our sister sign is Pisces is just a humbling thing to like know and remember. Pisces is like something that you can like learn wisdom from. So to add to the descriptions of Pisces, it is very all-encompassing. It gets to the archetype a lot of being like the compassionate human, and it's because Pisces kind of feels everything as one thing, nothing as separate. So what Virgo is doing is compiling all that into like data that it can like actually organize, because the vastness of everything being felt as one thing is overwhelming. And Pisces does amazing when everything is like loving, when it can bond with like animals and things that have energy that just like can lean into that fullness of love. What Pisces runs into problems is we can't all be one thing. We came in with very separate consciousness inside a human body. So it's also like can be overwhelming, I think, when Pisces is having big feelings that are not coming from a positive only channel. Those feelings are just so doom and gloom, and Pisces can fall into victim mode very easily because everything just feels like it's constantly coming at them, and all they want is for everything to be beautiful and cohesive and all as one thing. And it can really feel some deep emo dark vibes from Pisces, just like being so frustrated that we are not all oneness. And Virgo does get this, but it just feels like we only can do the next practical thing, which is like figure out how to take care of this weird thing that we all find our souls stuck in, and then also create some kind of habit loops and rituals so that those feelings don't overwhelm us to the point where we can't even move through the structure system of life in this world we find ourselves in.
Neptune is ruled by Pisces. So if maybe you don't like resonate with the zodiac energies yet, but maybe you know the planetary energies a little bit better, just remember that Neptune and Pisces go hand in hand. Like they want to soul merge and just like that defined unity, which can be very hard for any strong Pisces in today's society where we are very divided and they really want us to be more individualistic. And I'm like, I can understand, because I have a Pisces Saturn, why that just like really fucks up our strong Pisces in our lives.
No, I get the pain so loud and clear with my Virgo. I really literally feel it. Like soul merging and becoming one thing should be the only thing that matters. Like I get the intent behind it and how you want that so bad. It's just that can't fully be reality. And so because of that, like, you just can't let that completely crush you to the ground and then not make any actual action. And this is also like funny, the difference between like a water and an earth sign. Pisces is water, Virgo is earth, and Virgo's going like, okay, but we are here.
Logic.
We are here and we do have to do something about it. Like, this material world matters. And another really good parallel to pay attention to is, maybe in your chart you can look and see what planets or signs you have in the 6th house to the 12th house. So the 6th house is traditionally the Virgo house. The 12th house is traditionally the Pisces house. And if you have a strong 12th house, you are going to understand Pisces energy. It doesn't matter what sign is in that 12th house. The 12th house is a very tricky house because of that Pisces undertone of the subconscious, the oneness, other realms.
Yeah, the unseen.
The unseen. And Pisces is not just feeling into the wholeness of humanity. It's feeling into other worlds, other realms, the unsaid, the unspoken. Like, it is the vastness of everything. And Pisces is just usually, I feel like, just constantly channeling spirits, like, all the time. They don't even remember what they're saying half the time, because half the time I think they're just channeling. I really, truly believe that. And there's just really, really a strong spiritual energy along the Virgo and Pisces axis. So going into the 6th house, the 6th house is where we find our mind, body, spirit routines. It's how we meet our health. It's how we meet our rituals. It's how we meet being of service to other people, because that is another big part of Virgo energy, is you take care of yourself so you can properly take care of other people. And how does the rituals in my own life impact the way I can help others, you know, be guided into healing work themselves? There is a priestess archetype that falls in with Virgo, and Virgo is the traditional healer. So paying attention to the 6th house, even how you meet those things, what sign is there for you, might be able to help you also draw some parallels between how Virgo and Pisces energy, even as an undertone, kind of impacts you if you even don't have planets in those two things.
Yeah.
So
I feel that.
Yeah. V has 10th house in Virgo and 4th house in Pisces, and you definitely have to go through a lot of the ebb and flow of, like,
absolutely,
family, safety, Pisces, like full encompassing, like merging with those things from a young age to, like, how those impact how you show up, what your reputation is, how you're viewed and seen. And Virgo is
how
very...
we hold those boundaries, which are all Piscean. So I don't want to hold boundaries. I just want to merge and make sure everyone feels good.
It doesn't get to go like that.
And then all of that is right opposition my 10th house, which I, again, have very strong Virgo. So not only do I have these two houses,
Virgo Mars,
but I have Virgo Mars, I have Virgo Chiron, I have a Virgo moon, my midheaven, and my moon, my midheaven, and my Chiron are all directly on top of each other in a combustion, opposing my Pisces Saturn. So, like, those 4 things are always highlighted every day in my life. So when we have things going on in the sky, such as eclipse season, we're in Virgo sun season, we're about to have a Pisces full moon, we're about to have our first Pisces eclipse. I've been feeling it because I'm in my Saturn return, but, like, it's aggressive. So if life feels aggressive for you right now, I implore you to look at your chart and see where these are for you.
Yeah, and I have Saturn in Aquarius in my 6th house, which is that house of Virgo. And I've had to learn so many lessons around taking care of myself. Like, it is like a non-negotiable. I have to do it. It's what I'm here to share, teaching people how to actually ebb and flow with the routines and rituals that help you take care of yourself is, like, my healing work and what I have to do as a part of, like, my service. And we also both have 12th house placement. I have a 12th house moon in Chiron, which is overwhelming. The Pisces undertone to that is so strong, and I can feel all the time, like, just, I'm we're both very psychic with the 12th house. So I do think strong Pisces, as we said, is a constant channel. I think it's definitely how we go so deep in our like meditations and dream states and just able to communicate really easily. V has Pluto there and is like a very strong medium. And so like,
and my North Node.
Yeah.
So like I'm meant to kind of lean into Pisces energy with Scorpio undertones.
Yeah.
It's you know, super fun. Honestly, it's cool, funky, fresh.
So yeah, this is just some food for thought as you kind of analyze it for yourself. The eclipses, we always have usually like 2 seasons of eclipse, earlier in the year and a little later in the year. And they can be along different signs because the North and South Node are in that Virgo Pisces section of the sky right now. It's definitely being highlighted, but it's always going to help you find the higher archetype of whatever signs it's in. So even though you can make predictions around how it's going to impact certain things based on your planets and maybe be able to fine tune it, in the end, it's going to make you understand the higher expression of those signs, regardless of
if that's the path you take.
Yeah, all the personal details. So our habits are going to be looked at. How we stay anchored and take care of our body is going to be looked at.
Our rituals, our routines.
And then on the other side, our boundaries, where we're not holding enough self, or maybe where we're holding too much self and not leaning into people enough. It's going to be the balance of those 2 things. It's going to be making sure our work feels intentional and like where we want it to be, how we're being of service to other people. It's going to look at codependency patterns. If you have addiction problems, that always is going to come up in Pisces, because Pisces shadow is feeling so much, and instead of doing a lot of spiritual energetic cleansing, going into deeper meditation, it can also look like I'm feeling so much. Let me escape. Let me, do things to numb out my body so I don't have to feel any of it. Let me go into altered states of consciousness with substances versus actually owning the channel for what it is and knowing how to sacredly turn on and turn off that channel. Those are themes that can really come up with Pisces undertones. And so any of those things are going to be really kicked up. We're going to look at where we escape and where we want to hide and what maybe feels overwhelming. There's a lot of emotional but spiritual depth that comes along the Virgo and Pisces axis.
So the first eclipse is going to be on September 7th. It's going to be a total lunar eclipse while our moon is in Pisces, which means that the eclipse is going to be focusing and highlighting that Pisces energy first.
And with a lot of letting go undertones. So this is definitely time to like connect to water, let emotions come out, let yourself release something that isn't serving you. That can come out in maybe a creative expression. It can come out with feelings.
Yeah, I also implore you, because there are strong Virgo undertones here, we're going with Pisces first, okay? So try not to like overanalyze it, but watch what comes up. Watch what themes are being presented to you, what roadblocks, what maybe hard conversations are happening. Maybe there's just something around you that's triggering your nervous system, and then dissect that versus deciding what it is that you need to let go. Especially if you're newer to astrology, I think, especially since it is a Pisces, like Pisces is a feeler. So I think we just need to watch what's washing over us first and note that, and then decide what you need to release from there. Now, when we get to our second new moon in Virgo of the month,
the second new moon in Virgo,
which is very rare, that does not happen, is going to also be an eclipse. This one's going to be a solar eclipse. It's going to be on the 21st of September. This one is gonna probably feel a little more structured than what I just described for Pisces. Virgo likes a false sense of control. In its shadow, it can be a little OCD, a little nitpicky. So be aware and conscious of those patterns as those come up. And maybe it is a little bit easier in the new moon to notice what it is exactly, because at that point, hopefully, you're taking time to reflect right now for the Pisces full moon. So then like you're taking the energy that you're dissecting now into that next new moon and that can be helpful for you.
Yeah, Saturn is very involved with what is happening with it having retrograded back to Pisces. So there is definitely a chance to gain a lot of higher wisdom. There is a chapter that is being closed up that is needing to probably be closed up. And that is because Saturn is just going backwards one more time. So we have had Saturn in Pisces for 2 years. We had it go forward to Aries and then retrograde back, but you've already been gaining wisdom about Pisces energy as a whole, which has probably led to a lot more boundaries and redefining self. But Saturn is going to come in and close off a few more things before it fully advances in February of 2026, fully forward into Aries. So this is just important. V's going back into their Saturn return. So Saturn Pisces people, you get a fun little one more go.
Especially for anyone within the last 5 degrees of Pisces, we are actually getting a second and third return for our first Saturn return. For the collective though, Pisces or Saturn in Pisces will be at a 29th degree during this eclipse. And 29 degrees is like a critical point. It's like the very last chance to like get it. And granted, it's retrograding. So if anything, this is probably going to highlight like, hey, this is what you really need to like work on and work with up until February of next year.
Yeah.
Pisces as a whole in the zodiac wheel is an ender of a cycle. And then going into Aries is the beginning of a cycle. So like, it's not just because it's shifted into Pisces that it's like coming in to close out a cycle, but like Pisces in itself is like
the final zodiac,
the final one.
Yeah.
So keeping that in mind, that it might be energies that it's always your choice, again, how you work with these energies. They can come up, they can show you the higher path. You can look at that and say, fuck that. And that's so your right. But also there is like the opportunity to work with these higher energies that could catalyze you. Saturn is a 30 years to return kind of planet. So it can help catalyze your life into its next phase for the next 30 years. So it's just something to keep in mind.
Yeah, I don't even have a Pisces planet, and Saturn has been going through my 7th house for the last couple years in Pisces, and even without a planet there, it's been so impactful. So never doubt the power of Saturn when it comes to learning how to clean up the area it's going through, because Saturn really wants you to be putting in the work, but putting in the work to understand that that work really matters and how you evolve and shift and grow and expand. And it's really looking out for you. Saturn's never doing something that is not for your highest good. It is helping you to see yourself so that that evolution can continue to happen. And you always come out of the Saturn transits stronger. It might just be overwhelming in the moment because it's making you change. We're meant to change. And as much as we want to like pull the covers over our head and stop into Pisces death cycles and just stay there, that's not what we're meant to do. And Saturn's going to make sure that we understand that going through this too, and its involvement with the eclipses.
I really see Saturn as like a lovingly like firm but loving like father energy.
We call him daddy.
Yeah, daddy Saturn just wants you to do better. But at the end of the day, it's your life. Like whenever we reach the eclipse portal, you always want to look to see where the north and south node is to know which signs the eclipses are going to be in. So just tacking on to this first eclipse coming up on the 7th, yes, it's going to be a release and let go, but like just a little bit of more emphasis on like, because we have the Saturn in the 29th degree in the same sign as the North Node, which is what we're all supposed to be leaning into as a collective more for the greater good of all. Whatever lessons come up, and again, it's always your choice, but if you choose to work with that, like it is really important on the 7th to notice what is happening and just take notice.
It's your peace and the collective wholeness. And right now there is so much pain in the world, and we really are trying to shift what this world is about and what it means. And so just remembering, even if it feels overwhelming to self, that it's your piece as a part of a bigger puzzle. Because the North Node is always about our karma as a whole, our collective as a whole, and our piece in that bigger story. So even if it feels overwhelming for yourself, that zoom out lens can sometimes even be a helpful thing to kind of lean into, because there is just major spiritual changes happening and how we relate to each other and how we relate to ourselves. And we want the projection of the world to look so different than what it does, and to be on that higher level of safety for all, like the things that Pisces really cares about. Like that is what is happening as a collective. So keeping that all in mind, I think, is important. Yes, so keeping all of that in mind, we'd love to hear in the comment section what you have in Virgo and Pisces, what you maybe have in the 6th and 12th house. We'd love to help you out if there's any questions. Thank you guys for supporting our channel here and liking and subscribing. If you ever want astrology reading, we have those linked below as well. And we will see you in the next episode of Mercurial Gems.
Bye.